What is up, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of The Specialist of Media. I'm your host, the man himself, Michael Merced, and we have a great show for you today. But before we begin, I'd like to shout out my amazing crew who agreed to help me film this episode for you guys.
None of us agree to do this actually.
I beg your pardon? All right, now that we got the pleasantries out of the way, let's get this thing started.
Oh, the holidays. A chance to spend time with friends and family. A season of giving, love, and goodwill towards all. And a season to buy.
Yes, it is that season where every company in the world does everything in their power to get you to spend all your money on their products. If you thought your landlord was bad, allow me to introduce you to Walt. The holiday season is the perfect time for studios to release a big movie to increase their profits. And while the summer is better for this sort of thing, the holiday season is nothing to scoff at in the slightest. Also, a holiday release can mean anything, as long as it's in between the months of November and December. And hell, if you count when students typically have off of school at this time, you can throw January into that mix too. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We'll be taking a look at all the upcoming holiday releases, while also seeing whether or not I recommend you go and see it. Because, let's be honest, why else would you watch this show if it weren't to hear my opinion?
Really, no one cares to take Michael.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Cooking Club is a place where you can do fun food activities with friends. With a variety of different events, Cooking Club has something for everyone to enjoy, whether it's making milkshakes, decorating cookies, or one of the many other activities they have planned here on campus. Cooking Club's mission is to make cooking accessible and fun for everyone, so don't wait. Come down to Cooking Club today and get your grub on.
All right, now that we're back, let's take a look at some of those upcoming holiday films. As a disclosure, I would like to say that some of the films we'll be taking a look at today may already be out by the time you see this episode, but that's your problem, not mine. So let's get started.
I have crossed the horizon to find you.
Starting with a film that is already out at the time of recording, Moana 2.
The sequel to the critically acclaimed and commercially successful Moana from 2016, Disney's Moana 2 sets Moana in Maui on a new adventure to reconnect her people from across the ocean. The film is already making waves at the box office, making $221 million domestically and $389 million globally, making it the highest grossing opening weekend for an animated movie ever, surpassing Illumination's The Super Mario Bros. Movie, which made $377 million in its opening weekend.
I mean, damn. With numbers like that, the movie has to be really good, right? Right? Yeah, so Moana 2, despite its popularity, is a very divisive film with only a 64% on Rotten Tomatoes, and YouTubers have been bashing the film, calling it a massive disappointment, while citing the fact that it was meant to be a Disney Plus original series rather than a theatrical release. Now, since this film was released on the Thanksgiving break, I actually had the privilege to actually sit down and watch the movie with my family. So, that being said, what did I think of the movie? It was fine. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of the criticisms thrown its way are very valid. The music isn't as good as the original, and a lot of the new characters aren't memorable. This girl in the film, I don't even remember her name, she was wasted. But I had a good time watching it at the end of the day. And really, when push comes to shove, that's all that really matters. That being said, this is one of those movies I feel that you can skip out on, wait till it comes out in digital and streaming. You're not really missing out on much.
That's my line.
Moving on to another movie that is already out at the time of recording, we have Wicked. Based on the musical that was based on the book, that was based on the Wizard of Oz film, that was based on the Wizard of Oz book. Wicked tells the story of Elphaba, played by Cynthia Erivo, and Glinda, played by Ariana Grande, and the unlikely friendship forged and challenged through their grand adventure throughout the film. The film is already defying gravity with a wicked $360 million worldwide, an 89 critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and if you're into musicals and that stuff like that, this looks like the film for you, honestly. And given some of the films that have released that have critical ratings and stuff like that, in general, it looks like one of the best films to watch right now in the theater. So with that being said, I'd say it's worth giving it a shot.
My name is Gladiator.
Okay, so this is the last film that we're going to be talking about that's already in theaters. I promise, cross my heart, hope to die. Gladiator 2 is the sequel to the award-winning epic Gladiator from 2000. I was honestly surprised that I liked this one, to be honest. To be a sequel to a 24-year-old award-winning classic, there were a lot of huge expectations, and while some may feel that those weren't met, I do feel that this is a worthy sequel to the original movie. It tells the story of Lucius, who must find a way to take back the Roman Empire from its corrupt rulers and give power back to the people. It's quite thrilling with some crazy plot twists, and Denzel Washington, boy, is he a treasure in this film. That dude deserves an Oscar for this movie, I'm not even gonna lie. This movie definitely does deserve to be seen in a theater, hands down. It may not be the best film of the year like some of the marketing on TV would want you to believe, but it's a damn good one. And with that being said, stay tuned, because when we come back, we'll finally be taking a look at films that actually haven't come out yet.
Put out the entire.
You weren't supposed to speak.
Greetings! I'm John Plattsburgh here to tell you about something pretty damn cool. You could be playing awesome games with Cardinal Tabletop Guild, otherwise known as CTG. CTG holds events where anyone can come in and play games from the club's large variety of card games, board games, and role-playing games. When do they hold these events, you ask? 3 times per week. Yes, you heard that right. 3 times per week. Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, and Saturday afternoons. Learn more on Cardinal Link. Be cool like me. Play games with CTG.
And welcome back to the show. Let's talk about Kraven the Hunter, shall we? Kraven the Hunter is the 6th film in the Sony Spider-Man universe. How they were able to get 6 films into this franchise is absolutely beyond me, but that's besides the point. The film stars Aaron Taylor Johnson as the classic Spider-Man movie.
Directed by J.C. Chandor, the film sees Kraven on the path of vengeance that leads him to becoming the greatest and most feared hunter on the planet. It will also lead to him fighting the Rhino, apparently.
I just got one question going into this movie. Do you even care?
No.
The only movies that were even worth seeing out of this universe were the Venom movies, and even those are widely considered as being still bad despite kind of being enjoyable. I mean, if you like Tom Hardy and, you know, his relationship with himself, yeah. The other films, though, have been so historically bad that they've become memes at this point, and yet Sony still decides to go along with these things. But hey, the film will be rated R, so that should make it more interesting. At best, it's surprisingly decent. Worst, it's another Morbius and Madam Web scenario, which could make it fun in a sort of twisted, up kind of way. In terms of superhero movies in general, it could be worse. You can have high expectations going into the film only to have it be a boring mess that does nothing for anybody. Like, I don't know. Ah! Excuse me for a second. Anyways.
Nosferatu! Silence!
It's funny because when I was doing research for this episode, I found that there were 4 films coming out on Christmas Day, and ironically, none of them have anything to do with Christmas to my knowledge. I mean, one of them is an A24 erotic thriller film. One of them is based on the true story of an African-American female boxing gold medalist. And the other 2 have the guy from Dune and the vampire from SpongeBob in it. Nosferatu is about a vampire who becomes obsessed with and begins haunting a young woman, causing untold horror. A Complete Unknown is a biopic on Bob Dylan and his influence on music at the time. Now, you may be wondering why the hell did I decide to highlight these films in particular, and the answer is actually pretty simple. I just really wanted to make a SpongeBob reference and joke about how Paul Willy Wonka Atreides is going to be playing Bob Dylan. I thought it was pretty funny, at least. Let's be honest, though. Ain't no one going to the movies on Christmas Day. But, hey, if you want to do that, you have options, at the very least. Now, I decided to save the best for last here. This movie is what I consider to be the main event of not just the holiday season, but 2024 as a whole. And the movie, obviously, without a shadow of a doubt, Sonic the f***ing Hedgehog 3, baby! Yeah!
Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is the 3rd film and the 4th overall project in Paramount's Sonic movie universe. It sees Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles teaming up to try and stop the ultimate life form, Shadow the Hedgehog, from destroying humanity as revenge for taking everything away from him 50 years ago.
By the government. Not a big fan of them, to be honest. The movie is set to adapt the story of the fan-favorite game Sonic Adventure 2 from 2001. And I'm just gonna stop being professional altogether here because this movie looks awesome. They're doing everything here. They're adapting Shadow's tragic backstory from the games. John Wick is playing the damn character. Jim Carrey is playing not 1, but 2 Eggmen. More locations. The question of whether or not they even bring more characters from the games into the movie. Shadow has a freaking gun. Eggman pisses on the moon.
You see this right here? You see this? This is peak cinema right here. Peak.
Real talk here, this movie doesn't even just look like a good movie for fans of the video game series. It just looks fun in general. I think this would be a great movie for everyone, just as long as, you know, the kids in the theater aren't snarky, annoying mess. There aren't anyone smoking any weed or vaping in the theater. Fans of the game don't cheer when a 10-year-old gets shot. And with all that being said, that is a look at your holiday 2024 film calendar. The holiday season is quite stacked, and it seems like I'm going to be in the theater a lot, which means even less money in my bank account, but hey, what are you gonna do? I didn't even cover everything either. That being said, that's actually all the time we have for today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed the show, and I'd like to give a special thanks to Warren Zito, PSTV executive producer,
Connor Ryan,
and my wonderful crew. Where the f*** did everybody go? That's probably fine. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in episode 2. Good night, Plattsburgh. you advertise this, huh?